Hey guys, this is Risk here, back with another analysis of another thing that I had a lot of demand to talk about. So, I've been noticing more and more on streams, whether it be pro players or non-pro players, people actually don't know the number of Ravager shots needed. And I was talking to my friend Liquid Ret, and he was saying even the pro players don't know the amount of shots needed for certain units, so I decided that I would go ahead and take the time and investigate for myself. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, put a lot of effort into this one, so without further ado, let's begin. So starting off with important things to note about the Ravager. Corrosive Bile is a spell. It does 60 damage, it ignores armor and shield upgrades. This was really nice because then I didn't have to test every single set of upgrades on units, because Corrosive Bile is just as good against a +3 armor, +3 shields Protoss unit as it is against a +0/+0 unit. So, that is super important to note, guys. This is also what makes Corrosive Bile such an interesting and powerful spell. It's the earliest spell that can pretty much be used in the game against an enemy unit. So, continuing onward. Starting with Protoss, Ravager versus Probe, 1 Corrosive Bile shot is needed. Our next unit is the Zealot. Now once again, I was noticing that this is a unit that when Zergs got a 360 surround with Zerglings on and they had Ravagers, they would shoot like 5 or 6 shots on a Zealot, but the truth is, you actually only need 3 Corrosive Bile shots for a Zealot. Our next unit is Ravager versus Stalker. The Ravager takes 3 Corrosive Bile shots to kill a Stalker. This unit is very interesting to me because, once again, this is a unit that I saw that people did not know the number of Corrosive Bile shots needed to kill them. So, Ravager versus Sentry, the Sentry only takes 2 Corrosive Bile shots to destroy. Ravager versus Adept is one of the most extreme examples of this. You'd see player dropping 4, 5, or 6 Corrosive Biles on a clump of Adepts. The reality is, it only takes 3 Corrosive Bile shots to kill an Adept. Ravager versus High Templar, 2 Corrosive Bile shots needed. Ravager versus Dark Templar, 2 Corrosive Bile shots needed. Ravager versus Archon, 6 Corrosive Bile shots needed. This is incredibly helpful because now Zerg players can easily eliminate Observers without having detection. Ravager versus Observer, 1 Corrosive Bile shot needed. This one is also extremely important because it is probably one of the most targeted things when it comes to Corrosive Bile. But the truth is, Ravager versus Warp Prism, only 4 Corrosive Bile shots are needed to kill a Warp Prism. Ravager versus Immortal, 9 Corrosive Bile shots needed. Ravager versus Colossus, 6 Corrosive Bile shots are needed. Ravager versus Disruptor, 5 Corrosive Bile shots are needed. Ravager versus Phoenix, 3 Corrosive Bile shots are needed. Ravager versus Void Ray, 5 Corrosive Bile shots are needed. Ravager versus Carrier, 7 Corrosive Bile shots are needed. Ravager versus Tempest, 8 Corrosive Bile shots are needed. If you can ever catch an Oracle standing still with your Ravagers, it only takes 3 Corrosive Bile shots. If you ever catch a Protoss player accidentally leaving behind their Mothership core, 4 Corrosive Bile shots are needed. If you ever come into the ridiculous scenario where you need to kill a Mothership and all you have is Ravagers, all you need to know is that it only takes 12 Corrosive Bile shots to kill a Mothership. Ravager versus Pylon, 7 Corrosive Bile shots needed. Rest in peace, Pyle the Pylon. Rip Husky. Rest in peace, my friend. You're a big inspiration. Photon Cannon takes 5 Corrosive Bile shots to kill. Onward to Terran. Starting off with the SCV, 1 corrosive bile shot is needed. Ravager versus Marine takes 1 corrosive bile shot to kill a Marine with and without combat shields.
Armed and ready.
Ravager versus Marauder, 3 corrosive bile shots are needed, although 2 corrosive bile shots leave a Marauder with barely any health left. Ravager versus Reaper, 1 corrosive bile shot is needed. Ravager versus Ghost reporting, 2 corrosive bile shots needed. Ravager versus Hellion, 2 corrosive bile shots are needed. Ravager versus Siege Tank, 3 corrosive bile shots needed. This one's very important for attacking siege positions with Roach Ravager, because a lot of times you'll have them in siege mode and you only need 3 precise shots against them. So no more than 3, guys, only 3. Ravager versus Thor, 7 corrosive bile shots needed. Ravager versus Viking, 3 corrosive bile shots needed. This was also one I saw people throwing down like 7 or 8 shots. Guys, you only need 3 corrosive bile shots to kill a medevac. Ravager versus Raven, 3 corrosive bile shots are needed. Ravager versus Banshee, 3 corrosive bile shots are needed. Ravager versus Battlecruiser Operational, 10 corrosive bile shots are needed. Ravager versus Hellbat, which is a relatively common situation if you go up against mech where they have like 10-15 Hellbats. If you just drop a spray line of 3, that'll be enough to kill Hellbats. So 3 corrosive bile shots are needed. Big one right here, guys. Absolutely big one. Ravager versus Widowmine. If you ever see those suckers broing, you only need 2 corrosive bile shots to kill them. Don't even necessarily need an Overseer anymore, as long as you're able to spot them properly with Ravagers. This one was very surprising. It only takes 2 corrosive bile shots to kill a Cyclone, which is actually insane if you think about it. The situations where you'll be able to actually catch a Cyclone, though, are very rare, but still, only 2 corrosive bile shots to kill a Cyclone. This one's very common. Ravager versus Liberator. You'll come across this situation quite a bit, but it only takes 3 corrosive bile shots to kill a Ravager. Ravager versus Supply Depots. 7 corrosive bile shots are needed. So if you're ever sitting there with an Overlord on the high ground and you have a bunch of Ravagers, you only need to shoot 7 corrosive bile shots. Surprisingly enough, a bunker takes the identical amount of corrosive bile shots as it does a supply depot. 7 corrosive bile shots needed. Rest in peace, Neo Steel Frame. Maybe one day you'll make your grand appearance. Now, going on and moving on to Zerg, starting with the drone. 1 corrosive bile shot is needed. Ravager versus Zergling, or Speedling. 1 corrosive bile shot is needed. Ravager versus Baneling. 1 corrosive bile shot is needed. And this is another one that people totally overkill. Despite corrosive bile having a rapid cooldown, you don't want to overshoot the amount of corrosive bile shots needed, because what if an engagement happens 2 seconds later and you have less corrosive bile shots? So, it only takes 4 corrosive bile shots to kill an Overlord. 4 corrosive bile shots needed to kill those pesky scouting Overseers. 3 corrosive bile shots needed to kill a Mutalisk. Ravager versus Corruptor. 4 corrosive bile shots are needed. Ravager versus Broodlord. 4 corrosive bile shots needed, which in my opinion is slightly surprising, because if you ever get in one of those weird situations where it's a Broodlord turtle player and you kind of catch him with only 4 or 5 Broodlords, all you need to do is drop 4 corrosive bile shots and you're good. Ravager versus Ultralisk, 9 corrosive bile shots needed. Ravager versus Swarmhost, 3 corrosive bile shots are needed. Ravager versus Viper, 3 corrosive bile shots are needed. Guys, this one's very, very special. Ravager versus Ravager is a very special situation where 2 corrosive bile shots leave it with exactly 1 HP because of regeneration. So 3 corrosive bile shots are needed to fully kill a Ravager. Although it's been speculated if you literally have 2 corrosive bile shots that are shot out at pretty much identical time, within like an 1/8 of a second time frame, you can probably kill it. But I was never able to pull it off. I practiced it for about 10-15 minutes. So in general, 3 corrosive bile shots kill a Ravager, but 2 corrosive bile shots will leave it with 1 HP. So it's kind of up for debate which one is better in terms of an engagement, because 1 HP is barely anything. But if you want to go for a full kill, 3 corrosive bile shots are needed to kill a Ravager. One is going to be seeing a lot of attention in Legacy of the Void because lurkers are kind of a big deal in ZVZ. Ravager versus Lurker, 4 corrosive bile shots are needed to kill a Lurker. Ravager versus Spinecrawler, 6 corrosive bile shots are needed. If you shoot 5 corrosive bile shots, it's the same as the Ravager. It will leave the Spinecrawler with 1 HP because of regeneration. So 6 corrosive bile shots are needed to fully kill a Spinecrawler. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe. I put a lot of effort into this one, somewhere upward of 15 hours. It was a lot of fun to make. Just literally over 100 little clips I had to put together, but it was a really good learning experience. If you want to see more content in the future from me, be sure to comment below. If you have any feedback, any negative feedback, positive feedback, I'd love to hear it. I love learning from my mistakes. So thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you guys next time. This is Risk signing out.